up, guys? So I've had some people ask me to do an early Oscar nominations prediction video. With the Academy Awards still being like 4 months away, right now it's January and the ceremony's not taking place until April 25th, 2021, so it seemed a little bit premature for me to predict who the nominees are going to be at this moment in time. But then I realized, like, there's no harm in floating some ideas around and seeing how other people feel about who's going to be nominated. So I figure, let's have a go now, and then when we get a little bit closer to the announcement of the Oscar nominations on the 15th of March, I'll do another Oscars video with a more finalized predictions list as to who I think is going to be nominated. And just a reminder for you guys, I do make lots of Oscars content, ranking videos, predictions and reactions, so if you're a fan of that stuff, be sure to click subscribe and hit the bell if you want to be notified when I post a new video. So yeah, I've got my little notebook of all my predictions in, but I should let you guys know that things can change. We're still a good while away before the Oscars. We need lots more movies to come out. I haven't seen a lot of the movies. I might have a different opinion when I've seen movies like Cherry, Judas and the Black Messiah, and Minari. So yeah, my Oscar predictions will undoubtedly change the closer we get to the Oscar nominations. So here's how it's gonna work. I'm gonna go through all of the categories and give you my predicted 5, or in the case of Best Picture, predicted 10, and then I'll give you a few alternates of which could be nominated. So let's get started with the first category, which is Best Supporting Actress. These are my predicted 5. Ellen Burstyn for Pieces of a Woman, Amanda Seyfried for Mank, Olivia Colman for The Father, Yoo Jung-yoon for Minari, and Maria Baklova for Borat subsequent movie film. My alternates are Glenn Close for Hillbilly Elegy, Saoirse Ronan for Ammonite, and Dominique Fishback for Judas and the Black Messiah. I feel very confident about Burstyn, Colman, and Seyfried getting a nomination. The last 2 spots for this category are a bit more open. There is a lot of love for Minari right now. I haven't actually seen the film, so it's too early for me to say. But there is a lot of talk about this getting a lot of nominations, particularly for Lee Isaac Chung for Best Director, and also with the shutout of all the Asian actors of last year's Academy Awards with films like Parasite and The Farewell. Yeah, I think the Academy's going to want to correct that mistake and, you know, honor some Asian actors this year, and I think Yoo Jung-yoon has a really good chance of being nominated for Best Supporting Actress. And the same goes with Maria Baklova for her role in Borat's subsequent movie film. The Bulgarian actress has been sweeping a lot of the Critics' Choice Awards for Best Supporting Actress, so we can't rule her out. However, the Academy has been known to be genre biased towards comedy roles and horror roles. It's likely that her comedic performance in Borat's subsequent movie film could be bumped for something more traditional, like Glenn Close in Hillbilly Elegy or Saoirse Ronan in Ammonite. These 2 actresses are beloved by the Academy. They've been nominated multiple times before. I can see a situation where they bump someone off like Yoo Jung-yoon or Maria Baklova. I would really like to see Maria Baklova make it in because it's always nice to see someone get their first Oscar nomination. I'm sure it would mean a lot more to Baklova to get her first Oscar nomination than for Glenn Close to get her 8th nomination and not win again. Alright, next up we have Best Supporting Actor, and my 5 predictions are Daniel Kaluuya for Judas and the Black Messiah, Sacha Baron Cohen for The Trial of the Chicago 7, Leslie Odom Jr. for One Night in Miami, Paul Raci for Sound of Metal, and Stanley Tucci for Supernova. My alternates are Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Mark Rylance, and Frank Langella, all for Trial of the Chicago 7, David Strathairn for Nomadland, Kingsley Ben-Adir for One Night in Miami, Charles Dance for Mank, Bill Murray for On the Rocks, and Chadwick Boseman for Da 5 Bloods. This is a really interesting category this year because I honestly don't think there is a clear frontrunner yet. And to be honest, I don't think any one of the 5 that I predicted are a guaranteed lock for this category. I could be bang on the money, or I could just as easily not get a single one correct. I have a feeling that Daniel Kaluuya might be the one to break out and become the front runner as soon as people start seeing Judas and the Black Messiah. But I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts because it is a bit of a doozy of a category this year. Let me know, who do you think is going to get a nomination for Best Supporting Actor in that comment section down below. Let's move on to Best Original Screenplay. So my 5 predictions are Mank, Minari, Soul, Trial of the Chicago 7, and Promising Young Woman. My alternates are Da 5 Bloods, Sound of Metal, Judas and the Black Messiah, and Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always. Both the screenplay categories are intrinsically linked to Best Picture nominees, so that's how I'm making my predictions for the screenplay categories. I'm going with who I think is going to be nominated for Best Picture, and that's the same with Best Adapted Screenplay. My 5 predictions for Best Adapted Screenplay are Nomadland, The Father, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, One Night in Miami, and News of the World. My alternates are First Cow, United States vs. Billie Holiday, and I'm thinking of ending things. Fun fact, Kemp Powers could be looking at 2 nominations this year, one for Best Adapted Screenplay with One Night in Miami, he wrote the play for that, and one for Best Original Screenplay for Pixar's Soul. If he does manage to get nominated for both Best Original Screenplay and Best Adapted Screenplay in the same year, he'll only be the second person in history to ever do that. The first was for Francis Ford Coppola for The Godfather Part 2 and The Conversation. Next up we have Best Costume Design. My 5 are Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Mank, Emma, Personal History of David Copperfield, and Mulan. My alternates are One Night in Miami, News of the World, The United States vs. Billie Holiday, Promising Young Woman, and Judas and the Black Messiah. Next up we have Makeup and Hairstyling. My 5 picks are Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Hillbilly Elegy, The United States vs. Billie Holiday, The Prom, and Promising Young Woman. My alternates are Bill and Ted Face the Music, Mank, and Mulan. Next up we have Production Design, and my 5 picks are Mank, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, News of the World, Mulan, and Personal History of David Copperfield, and my alternates are The Midnight Sky, Tenet, The Father, Emma, One Night in Miami, and Mulan. Next category is Cinematography, and my 5 picks are Mank, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Nomadland, News of the World, and Tenet, with my alternates being Minari, Midnight Sky, and Malcolm and Marie. This is one of the few categories where I think there is a clear frontrunner, and that is Eric Messerschmidt for his gorgeous cinematography in the movie Mank. I feel like he is the one to beat in this one. Smart money is on Eric Messerschmidt, and this will be his first time being nominated and his first win. Very rarely does that ever happen in this category. Next category is editing, and like screenplays, editing is also inherently linked to Best Picture. So my 5 picks for editing are Mank, The Trial of the Chicago 7, Nomadland, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and The Father. My alternates are One Night in Miami, Tenet, Minari, Sound of Metal, and News of the World. I'm feeling pretty confident about my 5 picks for editing. However, I should say I haven't seen The Father yet. I'm just going off of hearsay and word of mouth, but apparently the final third of The Father is very well done editing-wise because it's from the point of view of Anthony Hopkins' character who has dementia, and apparently it's very powerful and very effective, and it just wouldn't work as well as it does without the editing being as good as it is. So that's why it gets a spot in my top 5 for editing. But if it doesn't, it could be bumped off for something like One Night in Miami, Minari, or Sound of Metal. Moving on to Best Animated Feature, and my 5 picks for this category are Soul, Wolfwalkers, Over the Moon, The Croods, A New Age, and Onward. And my alternates are Trolls World Tour and Earwig and the Witch. Again, I'm feeling pretty confident with this category, however, I could see something getting bumped off for Earwig and the Witch. Best International Feature, my 5 picks are Another Round, Two of Us, My Little Sister, Night of the Kings, and Never Gonna Snow Again. My alternates are Dear Comrades, Charlatan, Apples, I'm No Longer Here, and Collective. If you guys want to stay up to date with all my Oscars coverage, be sure to follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. All those links are in that video description down below. Next up we have Best Actor, and there is a great selection of people to choose from this year, but my 5 picks are Chadwick Boseman for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Delroy Lindo for Da 5 Bloods, Anthony Hopkins for The Father, Stephen Yeun for Minari, and Riz Ahmed for Sound of Metal. My alternates are Gary Oldman for Mank, Lakeith Stanfield for Judas and the Black Messiah, Tom Hanks for News of the World, and John David Washington for Malcolm and Marie. And what's great about this category is that it's one of the most diverse for nominees. I can honestly see this being one of the most diverse categories this year, because the only person I said who's white is Anthony Hopkins, but I could see someone like Gary Oldman sneaking in here and bumping off someone like Riz Ahmed or Stephen Yeun. But again, it's just nice to see people get their first Oscar nomination, and I really hope that Stephen Yeun and Riz Ahmed both get nominations for their work, even though I haven't seen either Minari or Sound of Metal yet, but it would be nice to see Stephen Yeun and Riz Ahmed in there this year. But I am very confident that Chadwick Boseman, Delroy Lindo, and Anthony Hopkins will all be nominated in this category. The other 2 slots a little bit more up for grabs, I think. Next up we have Best Actress in a Leading Role, and my 5 picks for this year are Viola Davis for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Frances McDormand for Nomadland, Carey Mulligan for Promising Young Woman, Vanessa Kirby for Pieces of a Woman, and Andra Day for United States vs. Billie Holiday. My alternates are Zendaya for Malcolm and Marie, Sophia Loren for The Life Ahead, Kate Winslet for Ammonite, Sydney Flanagan for Never Rarely, Sometimes Always, and Yeri Han for Minari. Again, another very strong year for leading performances, but for women as well. It's still a bit early, so we need to see how Malcolm and Marie is received, but I could potentially see Zendaya getting into this category and bumping off someone like Andra Day, because Zendaya has had a really good year. She won her Emmy for Euphoria just last year, and when an actor does have a good year with a lot of good projects, that's in the Academy's mind when they come to make their nominations, so it wouldn't surprise me if she snuck in here. And the same goes with Sophia Loren. Usually the Academy likes to give at least one acting slot to a European actor or actress. I could see her also, you know, getting a slot here. But yeah, there's a lot of really great work in this category this year and only 5 slots, so no matter what, somebody's gonna be a bit upset. If you guys are enjoying this video, please show my channel some love by hitting that thumbs up button, and if you want more Oscars and movie, TV related content, don't forget to click subscribe. Next up we have Best Sound, and my 5 picks for this category are Sound of Metal, Mank, Soul, Midnight Sky, and Tenet. My alternates are Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, News of the World, Greyhound, Trial of the Chicago 7, The Prom, and Nomadland. Best Visual Effects, and my 5 picks are Tenet, Midnight Sky, Mank, Greyhound, and The Invisible Man. My alternates are Wonder Woman 84, Mulan, and Sonic the Hedgehog. Best Score, and my 5 picks for this category are Mank, Soul, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Tenet, and Minari. My alternates are The Midnight Sky, Da 5 Bloods, Trial of the Chicago 7, and One Night in Miami. Let's be honest, Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross are going home with this Oscar this year. They have 2 phenomenal movies that are the clear frontrunners at the moment, both Mank and Soul. Which one it's gonna be has yet to be determined, but I have a feeling it might be Soul. Now for a category which I have like 0 knowledge on, and it is Best Song. Honestly, I've heard so few of the options for Best Original Song this year. Don't know how that's happened, so I'm just kind of going off what other people are saying. My 5 picks for Best Song are Speak Now in One Night in Miami, To See from The Life Ahead, Rocket to the Moon from Over the Moon, Turntables, All In, A Fight for Democracy, and Wear Your Crown from The Prom. And I don't actually have any alternates. Best Documentary Feature. My 5 picks for this category are Dick Johnson Is Dead, Totally Under Control, All In, A Fight for Democracy, Time, and Crip Cramp, A Disability Revolution. My alternates are The Truffle Hunters, The Way I See It, Welcome to Chechnya, and Collective. Best Director. This is a great one. It's a tough category this year, but my 5 picks for Best Director are David Fincher for Mank, Chloe Zhao for Nomadland, Lee Isaac Chung for Minari, Aaron Sorkin for The Trial of the Chicago 7, and Regina King for One Night in Miami. My alternates are Paul Greengrass for News of the World, Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman, Shaka King for Judas and the Black Messiah, Spike Lee for Da 5 Bloods, George C. Wolfe for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and Cornel Mundacruzo for Pieces of a Woman. Best Director is usually a bit of a wild one. There's usually at least one person left out of this category, which a lot of people get upset about. But when it comes to this year, my 2 locks for this category are David Fincher for Mank and Chloe Zhao for Nomadland. Both phenomenal. Both did great work, and I think it is a 2-way race between the 2 of them. Right now I think Chloe Zhao has it, but it's still very early. And then the remaining 3 slots is a bit trickier, because I'm not sold on any of the 3 that I mentioned before. Lee Isaac Chung, Regina King, and Aaron Sorkin. A lot of people are feeling very confident about Aaron Sorkin and Regina King getting nominations for Best Director. I personally don't feel so secure in either of them receiving a nomination, even though I put them in my predicted 5. They're both relatively new directors, and the director nominees are selected by the directors branch of the Academy. And with actors turned directors, or in Sorkin's case, writers turned directors, they don't always land a nomination for directing, even if the movie they've made is a hit. Look at Bradley Cooper in A Star is Born. Look at Ben Affleck with Argo. Or just last year with Greta Gerwig and Mario Heller for their work with Little Women and A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. I can foresee a ballot where both Sorkin and Regina King are nominated for Best Director. However, I can just as easily see an outcome where they both get snubbed for the Best Director category. If Regina King does get a nomination for Best Director, she will be the first Black woman ever to be nominated for Best Director, And if Chloe Zhao and Regina King are nominated together in the same category, it will be the first time in Academy history that two women are in the Best Director category together in the same year. Ever. That is huge, and I do want that to happen. I just don't feel confident in saying that it's a guarantee. I can see someone like George C. Wolfe or Spike Lee getting one of the slots. So I have a sneaking suspicion we're all gonna be gaggy when they reveal the Best Director nominees this year. But what do you guys think? Who do you think is gonna get Best Director nomination? Let me know in the comment section down below. And last but by no means least, we have Best Picture. And my 10 picks for Best Picture this year are Nomadland, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Mank, Minari, The Trial of the Chicago 7, Promising Young Woman, The Father, Da 5 Bloods, One Night in Miami, and Soul. I'm not 100% certain on all 10 of these getting a Best Picture nomination because it is still far too early to be sure that these are going to be nominated. My alternates are Another Round, Sound of Metal, First Cow, Judas and the Black Messiah, The United States vs. Billie Holiday, Pieces of a Woman, and News of the World. I feel that The Father, Da 5 Bloods, One Night in Miami, and Soul are all maybes at the moment and could be bumped off by something like Judas and the Black Messiah, News of the World, or Sound of Metal, or even Another Round. I would love to see that get a nomination for Best Picture, but that might just be wishful thinking on my part. Frances McDormand could make history as the first woman ever to be nominated for Best Actress, as well as Best Picture, as she was a producer on Nomadland. And same goes with Chloe Zhao, actually. She could be looking at 3 nominations herself. One for Best Director, one for Best Screenplay, because she adapted Nomadland, and also for producing Best Picture contender, Nomadland. So yes, that's exciting. But what do you guys think? Be sure to let me know your Oscar nomination predictions in that comment section down below. For more Oscar predictions and Oscar ranking videos, be sure to click subscribe. And if you want to follow me on any social media, Twitter, Instagram, or Letterboxd, all those links in that video description down below. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. For more things related to movies, TV, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Airfield, and I'll see you next time.